Sunday, 28th of December, nearly the end of the old year. Time I had a really good shave. And I'm going to be using Crofton Hill because I'm using a posh razor today, which is the kindest possible find and so far gift for a very dear friend in Northern Ireland, Mr. Fox. And Anthony has a great knowledge and a great skill when it comes to finding wonderful things. Anyway, well, I'm going to use a Puma 18, which is one of the rare Pumas. It's a big one. It's a big Puma. And I'd just like to say also a very great call out and thanks to Jonas Kaiser, who is again a German expert and very kindly sent me a breakdown in the form of an attachment on the Puma booklet, which gives a very, very good explanation of why Pumas are so good. I didn't realise all the little numbers can be traced back to the actual person that made the razor. So when you see a Puma and it's got the very small numbers on both sides of the scales near the pivot, they are in fact inspection cartouches, for want of a better word. And they could be traced back to whoever made and assembled the razor. They were very, very keen, being German, on fine detail, as only German engineering can be. And getting as far as this booklet goes, it does give a very full explanation of why the Puma is probably one of the best razors ever made, particularly considering the ice tempering, which of course is the same as used in Spain, hence why there's quite a few famous ice tempered blades from there. But it was rather informative, very exciting for me, because I absolutely love good quality steel. And I'm going to show you the razor now and stop talking. First of all, there's your Puma case, which is a clever compressed wood. So it's a plasticized compressed wood, and they're very, very useful. So there's your case. And there is the fantastic Puma 18. And the little numbers are just on the one side on this particular razor. And they can be easily traced back, it would seem, by Puma Werk to whoever made it. Anyway, while I natter on, I'll just do a starter shave. This is a big, big boy. This is a big razor. Biggest they made. Yep, only a Puma feels like that. One of the things they also touched on was how delicate the edge of a razor is, and how even the green, very fine green crocks that you put on a strop is still really somewhat rough compared with the actual final finish of the edge. The black compound, which is often used, and I believe Puma sell, is the rougher compound, and the green chromium oxide is the finer. So that confirmed that. I would honestly say that the steel is a very, very high quality with Puma, double hammered, and they don't lie. But certainly, as far as the edge goes, you've got to be very, very careful with a good edge. Rubbing it across your nail, as people do or used to do with penknives. Do you remember when we used to have penknives? Well, rubbing it across your nail will absolutely bugger the edge on a straight razor. In the process of actually honing and sharpening your razor, the nail test, of course, is one of the final points, but that just shows you set your bevel. After that, you've got to refine it. I'm not going to witter on long, but I would say thank you to anybody that's kind enough to share information on this fascinating subject, because of all the subjects I've tackled in my life, steel has always been close to my heart, and good steel is to be treasured. Yeah, that's a nice piece of steel. Yeah, in case anybody is interested, which is unlikely, the history of steel and tempering goes back centuries and centuries and centuries. My father, before the Second World War, earned good money in a slaughterhouse in London, and known as an abattoir. And the fact that they really knew their steel, because that's how they made their money. And when you're cutting into rough hide, as in on a bull, for argument's sake, then the type of steel is essential, and the edge is essential. You wouldn't use one of these. Their favourite is double shear steel. Double shear is a very strange steel. You actually, this is an old Sheffield technique. You forge the steel, the two parts of the steel together, leaving a scale trapped between the two layers of steel. That causes an extremely rough edge, but that rough edge, being highly carbonised, actually causes very great cutting. It allows the hides to be cut when they've got dirt on them and all the rest of it. You wouldn't dare use fine steel for doing that. So every type of temper has a use. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, Anthony, if you're watching this. I really do owe you, and I shall reciprocate. So, there you have it, guys. The other thing that was mentioned, just to show how perfinicky the gentlemen at Puma were or are, is when you strop your very fine razor, do give the strop a wipe with your hands before stropping, for the simple reason it's possible, you may not have noticed it, but it's possible an ingress of dirt or dust, and that can actually, in stropping, that can ruin your edge. So please be careful. So what I tend to do, I have my strops hung vertically, and I do actually do that. I always give them a wipe off like that, just in case there was a bit of dirt on them, because that will really ruin your edge. Anyway, that's that. I'm not going to do any more because I want to go downtown. There's a nice little pizza restaurant in Littlehampton, and there's a particularly beautiful young lady that works there. And me and my other friends down there, Armand in the phone shop, we might just go there for a brunch and a conversation. So have civilised. Anyway, yeah, great soap, very nice quality soap, very nice quality lather. I've used the usual, which is synthetic, because it comes up easily, get a good lather. Last word would be from me, when you have finished your shave, I find I don't need to strop every time. You just don't. This is a perfect edge. I'm not going to strop it, or if I did, I'd strop it on something very, 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 very fine, which would be, if I can dig it out, 2 seconds. I have a canvas Kaneyama. That, if you really must strop, is quite useful. The idea is you're resetting the little teeth. So let me just show you what I mean. So there's your canvas. There's your shaved with razor. 1, 2, just a few laps on a strop like this. And it just resets the little teeth, the little tiny microscopic teeth. So that's the theory, but also of course it dries your razor properly. And as a final thought, and then I'll shut up and go away. As a final thought, after stropping, don't forget, use a pipe cleaner. Make sure there's no damp whatsoever in there. and then you actually can double check and put the razor away. Anyway, everybody knows that. I'm just repeating myself. Sorry. So have a wonderful Christmas, everyone. What remains of Christmas, which isn't very much. New Year's Day coming up fairly soon. Sayonara. Martin's shave test. I hope this was interesting. And bye for now.